Did you need to pick that up?
No, it was just Marshall saying he's going to be about 15 minutes late.
Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah, we're on a time crunch. Hi, I'm Cassandra. Eat and die. It's Ingrid.
Hi.
Yeah, we're on a time crunch because my son's coming home and he will destroy the world when he gets home. So yeah, yes, podcasting, yay.
Yay, podcasting.
Yay,
I love podcasts. I watch them all the time. I'm obsessed with video podcasts.
It's true.
And so I always tell Cassandra that she should do a podcast. So here we are. And somehow I got roped into this.
That sounds about right. Every video podcast I've ever seen is because Ingrid told me to watch it. So, because I never even thought of those things. And then she's like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you listened to this one? And I was reading this blog and like, yeah.
Yeah. And podcasts sort of fill that space of knitting group for me because I don't go to a knitting group.
Seriously.
I mean, Cassandra had other reasons for leaving the knitting group, but they dissolve after a few years and I didn't seek out another one. And now I feel like I'm a little too snarky to maybe be at a knitting group that I don't already know the people really well. So we'll try that out.
I think I'll agree with that. I think it worked. I think both of our snarkiness levels were buffered by each other when we were in the knitting group together. Mm-hmm. So it was like you would say something and people maybe weren't sure which way you were going with that, and I would laugh and it was like, oh, she's being funny.
Right.
And I would say something and you would just be like, oh,
I'm so deadpan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I would say something that could come across as really mean and you would be like, no, she just does that. Just do what she says. And like, go get me a drink now. And no one understood that. Yeah. We met through a knitting group.
Cassie's going to help you.
Cassie's going to fix whatever you just did and are about to cry about. So you need to walk away from the table. Yeah, because we met through a knitting group and I used to do that all the time. And people just kind of understood in that group that go get me a drink or we were in a food court at the mall. And go get me a refill was the signal to walk away from the table for a few minutes because you're obviously about to flip out. And that Amber sock breaking, I'll never forget that. She literally cried. She actually teared up and I was like, go. And she was like, but sock.
Well, she had just finished. She had finished the whole sock. She had finished the Kitchener. She was like about to cut the thread and
she went tug and it went pop and it just started to unravel and she literally froze and I ripped it out of her hands, grabbed her needles and was like, go get me a refill right now. It's like, but sock. I'm like, no, just go. So yeah, when you started going to that knitting group in Cambridge and then I started going, no one there, I was just so used to people understanding, go get me a drink was go away and I'll fix it.
Code for you don't want to see this.
Yeah, you don't want to see what I'm going to have to do to your project in order to fix it. So yeah, we had to teach people the system. And yeah.
It worked really well.
Yeah, it did. Well, it didn't help that everybody in that group was like, what was it, a year or less of knitting?
Right.
It was like all new knitters, which is fine. And like, I taught knitting for a while. Like, I'm totally cool with being like, the Google of knitting at the table. But it took a while
we were a little off balance.
Yes.
For a little bit. And then we got some more members who were regular knitters because we were one group and there was another group meeting in the same location and somehow our groups melded. And that worked pretty well too because then we had a broader range of, knitters who were always on Ravelry and always on the pulse of whatever was the hot new pattern.
Knew what Ravelry was.
Yeah. And then there were people who were, well, so-and-so taught me knitting and I've made this, I knit this sweater and I have no other knitting experience. And so we had the complete range of, I want to do the most challenging, ridiculous knitting I can and I want to knit dishcloths and that's my jam. Yeah. So it was a really good group. But of course, we're in the city and people move in and out like, I'm moving to Austria or whatever, or I'm moving 2 miles and that's too far. Yeah. So we always had a bit of and then we splintered off from that too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So
we had little knitting little knitting, which was sort of knitting and sort of just an excuse to get together and eat. Because it was sort of just, let's go hang out. Oh, did you bring knitting? Because we all knit. And then 90% of the time, I think at least 2 people never ended up pulling out knitting.
Right.
And so it was sort of a knitting group. And then Krista had a baby. And so it was like, it was at Krista's house. So now she's got a baby. So things kind of died down. I ended up getting a new work schedule and I couldn't make it. But yeah, like all through college, it was like, I must go to, I don't care what I have to do. I don't care what I have to, I have to go to knitting every single week. And now I haven't been to knit night in years. And it's like, yeah. So, yeah.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll both be back there.
I forgot that most of the people in the Cambridge group, the original Cambridge group, were new knitters, because it was like, we would say Stephanie Pearl McPhee, or Ravelry, or, Seed Stitch, and it was like, and we had, okay, we need pictures, we need internet, we need to explain, like, I feel like, I never got an introduction, really. It was just sort of like names, and that was it, and I don't want it to feel, knit night shouldn't feel like, well, today in class we're going to go around the room and talk about ourselves, but at the same time,
fluid,
I didn't know anybody's level of knitting, and I just assumed that everyone had been doing it for a while and knew a bunch of stuff, and there was like one girl who like sort of knew stuff, but only one way to do everything, so she knew about stuff, but she wouldn't realize it until I explained exactly what it was, and it's like, oh, I do it this way,
and I didn't mention it, but I knit lefty, so I can't really help people. Like, I can sort of help people.
I can sort of help her.
I don't knit regular knitting anymore. Like, I tried to learn right-handed knitting, but it just feels wrong, and I can do it if I concentrate really hard. But why should I have to do what feels unnatural? So I knit lefty, and
and I can help her with
totally
lefty
fine.
If I concentrate really hard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, in your left, wait, which hand? Which way? What do you do? I don't remember. Show me a video. I don't know what you do anymore.
Exactly.
And and cabling has been fun.
Cabling is my nemesis right now, because like some cabling I have to reverse and some cabling I don't have to reverse, but maybe that's too much.
We still can't figure out what like some cables she has to do back, she has to switch the front to the back, like cable front or cable back, but other ones she doesn't, and we don't know what the criteria is for that yet. So because you were making the mitts, the cabled mitts. My cabled Casey mitts, and you started doing it backwards, and then you reversed it and it was coming out right, but then the socks, you reversed it right from the get-go because we learned our lesson. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to write out the whole pattern. I'm going to reverse all the cables and print out my Excel spreadsheet, because yes, I do Excel spreadsheets for all patterns. For everything.
So I can have little boxes to check off, which is my favorite thing. And the cables didn't work. They were so hidden. I have that project if you want to see what cables look like right and wrong.
Figuring out what. Yeah, and see, we were lamenting about the loss of knit night as well because of this, because she was like, you would have spotted this at first as soon as I started doing it wrong if we had knit night still, but we didn't, so she got kind of far before.
Like, had I been sitting next to Cassandra, I would have gotten 4 rows, and she would have said, what's going on over there?
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Something's wrong. Show me what you're doing. But so, this is a sock pattern called Business Casual. Mm-hmm. It's a free pattern.
I think so.
I think it's a free pattern. Yeah. But you get these really cool. Is it in focus? I can't tell. You get these really cool diagonal diamonds. Diamonds that form because you're doing rows of cables. Yeah. And it looks like slip stitches, but it's actually
which I thought it was, which is why I said, yeah, that looks like a good pattern for you to do for your first real socks.
Yeah. So that was the right way. And then this is the not right way. I mean, still doing all the cables. Can you see if it's in focus? So there are diamonds there if you squint really, really hard, but you can't actually see what the heck is going on.
It's okay.
Yeah. And then on the inside of the sock, there's kind of a bump thing happening. But there's no cable that is visible because whatever I did, reversing the cable means that the top piece that's supposed to be on top is like sandwiched in behind.
Yeah.
And all that effort is for nothing.
And she was complaining to me, like, I can't see the pattern. It seems like a lot of work to not even be able to see the pattern. And all I could think was, how far are you? You should totally be able to see the pattern by now.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, it was like a 20-minute conversation. I was like, send me a picture. Just send me a picture. And just send me a picture of it. It was like, no, something's wrong. So now you're doing it according to the way it's written.
Yep, I'm doing it as written, which is,
and it's working
left-handed as written. So I go...
But you're not reversing the cables anymore.
No.
Which is
so like, what do you knit, right to left? Left to right?
You're gonna make me think. Oh, yes, right to left.
So I knit
left to right.
Left to right.
Yeah.
Then. And that's, so it's basically mirror knitting. So if I was knitting opposite somebody, we would both be going in the same direction in that.
Yes.
You know, it would look like we're both going in the same direction because the left side of the frame and the right side of the frame are doing the same thing. Right? Is that?
Yes. And your stitches sit on the needle the other way, I think. Because I remember I had to fix something for you one time. And I had to pull it off and put this... I had to, like, put the stitches on my way and then fix it.
Yeah.
Just because my brain couldn't, you know, midnight was after work. We were all kind of toast already.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I would sit down and projects would just show up in front of me. I'm like, I don't know what I did. Like, okay. And so I remember I had to unknit it and, like, put it back. And then I just switched all the stitches back before I handed it to you. Because I'm still not really, I don't know. Like, conceptually I understand what you do, but in reality.
Yeah, it's magical. Oh,
yeah.
And I didn't even say that this sock, this beautiful sock on this beautiful yarn is actually Cassandra's hand-dyed yarn from the Jane Austen monthly mystery monthly sock club.
Jane Austen Mystery Sock Club.
And this is
That is Lady Catherine.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's from January.
Gorgeous.
January. Yeah, and it turns out I had all the sock yarn clubs packaged up in a row, ready to go in the mail, and my son decided to try out his scissor skills on one of the packages. I found him in the kitchen, like, squatting down with his little kid scissors, hacking away at one of the packages, and I freaked out and picked it up, and it turned out it was Ingrid. So I, like, glanced in the package and like, oh, okay, it's fine. I'll just throw some tape on it. Like, she'll understand. I'll just put a note that says, like, Connie chewed this. And everything was in there. And then a month later, I do the reveal of the sock yarn, and she's like, was there supposed to be a heel toe mini in there? Because there wasn't. So, yeah, he did pull out, and thankfully it was hers. So I was like, next package. I'll put it in the next package.
Which I do have, but it's just not in my knitting bag at the moment.
Yeah.
It's on my couch because my cat also does sneaky things and pulls things out. So, yes.
It's true. Yeah. So Ingrid has also brought me, let me see if I can get this with the shiny, my fat squirrel pin. So excited. I had to have it. You told me
Yay,
about
fat
it.
squirrel.
Yay, fat squirrel, for real. Yeah, you told me that she had a pin and, like, screamed over the phone, and I saw, like,
it was
glitter
like,
squirrel.
Are they available? Let me pause. I was ordering it on my phone while we were talking.
Yeah.
Like, you need one? I need one.
Like, we both need one. I'm just going to order 2. It'll be fine.
Yeah. In case you don't know who that is, it's The Fat Squirrel Speaks, Amy Beth, and she has an awesome podcast where she talks about, everything and some knitting. And she makes really awesome project bags, and she lives in Indiana, I think. So she has all sorts of awesome hijinks that they talk about. And she loves apples and talks about apples. And she has really good board game recommendations, too.
I did not know that. I'm going to have to go
mostly about board games that she plays with her daughter, who I believe, is entering the preteen realm.
Gotcha.
But lots of really cool games. So she has a podcast specifically about that also.
I'm going to have to look that one up because I need some new games. All my games are from like 1990, like Outburst and Taboo. But they're awesome, and they were really good for me as a child because, you know, vocabulary, which I've totally... My vocabulary is 90% swears at this point, but yeah, they were good when I was 12. Yeah, she says yo a lot, which is why the pin says yo. I love. I haven't been able to see it until today, so I'm like, yes. So that's awesome.
What else you got over here?
Knitting stuff, yeah. I'm still working on the sock for Connie. I had to pull it apart and redo it. So this is... I had to put the camera so much farther away because there's two of us now. So this is the restart of a miniaturized Hermione's Everyday Socks for my son. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too big now, but he's growing. He'll grow into it. So this is Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, better too big than too small.
Yeah, well, I was...
Look, the cuff is just so cute. The colors on the cuff.
Rainbow cuff. The first one I did, I was doing half. So I did half the number of stitches, a little less than half the number of stitches. Wait. Maybe half the number of stitches. I did half the number of repeats. And it was just, it wouldn't even go over his foot, like, at all. I didn't think to try it on him until the heel was turned and done, but yeah. So this is 3/4. I think it's 56 stitches I cast on. I put it in my Ravelry notes. I don't remember right now. But yeah, so I'm at the heel turn, but I'm also completely distracted by my Avengers cowl. I'm like, socks? Who cares about socks? What am I doing socks? I'm only dyeing sock yarn every month. I don't care about socks. Yeah, so I can show you this a little bit. So Avengers cowl. This is going to be for Infinity War. I'm going to release it beforehand, and then I'm going to try and do a knit along leading up to the movie release in May. So I'm knitting it right now. And so it's like, these are all motifs that are on the Infinity Gauntlet. And the colors are going to be Infinity Stone colors. So this is the first two that I'm working on. And I'm just scrolling through them. But I'm super into this right now and really don't care about anything else.
And so you dyed special colorways for your cowl,
I did.
Right?
I finally put them up online too. I finally got them in the shop today. Yeah, I did the Infinity Stone minis, so there's 6 minis. And then this is this is Midas, which is like an antique gold, just slightly more yellow in person and showing up slightly more brown in there. But so plain antique gold, and then I'll probably do like a kit and stuff. Like, I'll group it all together. I'm deciding whether or not to do... Oh, crap. I'll deal with that.
Go get me a drink.
Yeah, exactly. I'm deciding whether or not to do a special project bag along with that, too. But, yeah, probably. I probably will. Who am I kidding? I make a bag. I know. I make a bag for everything. Everything has to have its own... I already planned the stitch marker. I don't think I told you that. I already have the stitch marker.
Everything has to have a project. What is that called? Progress keeper?
Progress keeper.
Stitch marker?
That one, yeah, the combo. And that one will have a combo because it really only needs the stitch marker. The sock club comes with a progress keeper.
This is so crazy soft. Okay. Very nice yarn. Just like squish the yarn. But yeah, a project bag and keeper and special design and custom yarn colors. You know, just a little.
I think we're all lucky I didn't get into like putting skull bee on knitting needles and anything. I would do the whole thing from start to finish if I could, but I learned my lesson. I feel like I learned my lesson with Star Wars. That was a lot, and I sort of let time get away from me and tried to cram.
Because you did a Star Wars mystery cowl.
Yeah, I did Star Wars mystery cowl in November of last year, and I did the custom yarn, dyed yarn, and the special project bag and the stitch marker progress keeper. And really, I wanted to do about 15 other things.
Yeah.
And that was not a good idea.
And you did custom stitch markers, too. Not just the progress keeper.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did
You
those
did
for
a
the
whole
giveaways.
set.
I did giveaways.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, those are still sitting over there. I should probably, like, put those in my shop or something.
Yeah.
Or no, I put them in a box.
You didn't just make a couple. You made
No, I made
extra
like 25.
And
yeah, because
those are cool.
I was like all set to give away all the things, and yeah. So those are in a box. I forgot to glaze those coffee bean coffee bean stitch markers. Yeah, so I'll probably make like a little like infinity gauntlet stitch marker.
Oh, okay.
Because
I was like, an infinity gauntlet. What? You're making an infinity gauntlet.
No.
Oven mitt.
And
I
maybe
feel like I've seen that.
And maybe do a bag with an infinity gauntlet, like very vague. Don't sue me, Disney. Please don't sue me. Yeah, very vague allusion to an infinity gauntlet.
Sort of
Screen print.
superhero, medieval, modern, futuristic armor.
Yes, which is kind of like
Right.
that's basically what it is. I mean,
It
yeah.
gives you special. Does it give you special powers? The stones give you special
the
powers.
stones give you special powers, and the stones together on the gauntlet, I believe, make you invincible.
Yeah, I cannot hold a conversation about Marvel or DC. Don't ask me. I
You
can
talked for like a
stumble
half.
just enough into it to make you feel like you might not have it right, but you do. I don't have it right. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We talked about this for like a half an hour last week, and I say we, and I mean me. I talked, and I'm pretty sure she was playing with her cat the whole time, just like waiting for me to finish rambling about the colors and the what each one was and what it was from the comics, which I don't really know. I don't know comics.
I listened.
And then you sent me a video
Because there was one
about
color
it.
that you chose first because it was first in the movies, but it was not first in the comic book,
She did listen.
right? So I don't know what color that was.
I don't know
I
what
want to
color.
say blue, but
Yes.
I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm doing the colors in order that Infinity Stones show up in the Marvel movies. Because I needed an order and I didn't want to just go arbitrarily rainbow or whatever. So, starting with blue with the Tesseract and... Okay. I don't want to get into it. I'll go on.
That's for another day.
Yeah, that's a whole other half-hour
Marvel
rant.
Yes.
You have stuff.
Oh, I have stuff. I brought some finished knitting, which one of them really is Cassandra's knitting. That I feel so honored that I have these beautiful mittens. Every time I look to see if I'm in focus, it goes out of focus.
I end up with these like weird, like my head popping up like a meerkat.
But so
because
these mittens that have gorgeous Latvian braid and
that was my first Latvian
this
braid.
beautiful thumb detail, and I wear these all the time. And like, I want to say these are 4 years old, and they
At
look
least.
brand new. They're just incredible.
I was just telling her I don't remember what the yarn was at all. Like at all. I just know one was teal and the other one was like red, purple, blue, multi.
Yeah. And so because the colors, the yarn changes colors and circuits through, it actually looks a lot more complicated than it probably is. You were saying that yes, I could actually make these knitting.
I want to say it's worsted weight. I think it was worsted weight yarn. Because it was a really chunky pattern. It was a real, I think I did a mitten image search on Google and I found a chart that looked like I had a whole mitten thing one year for Christmas. I was like, mittens for everyone.
Oh my god, you made 15 pairs of mittens?
Oh no, I didn't even manage
this.
No, I didn't.
Not just regular mittens, all mittens of crazy level.
Did I manage to make them?
Yeah.
I thought you were the only person.
My
grandmother got a pair. My uncle got. Oh crap! I did.
You were.
That shows how much
crazy.
sleep I was getting when I did it because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like that one was like 30. Give me one. I'm gonna count. I feel like this was only like 30 stitches across or something. Wait, 5, 10.
And it was so tightly knit.
15.
I feel like it was on 3s.
Probably. 20, 25. Yeah, this is only like 50 stitches around. This is definitely like worsted. worsted weight yarn. I probably did it on 3s to make them the right size. And then it's 2 strands of yarn. So it's all, And this was when I didn't understand that you could go more than like 2 stitches on a float. So it was like every other stitch I was like tacking it in. And I'm pretty sure this is my first lap band braid ever.
Really?
I think you have my first lap band braids. And
they don't never get rid of them.
They don't even really look like lap band braids because of the multicolored yarn, but that's okay. This is why you still get knitwear. No one else does.
I'm good with my knitwear.
No one else does.
I even washed them at least once. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me, like, you were like, what is it made out of? I'm like, I don't know. Wool, I think, yeah. Well, yeah, we can pretty safely say it's wool.
Yes. But it was like woolly wool and not, I'm a little wool sensitive and I don't knit with woolly wool. I tend to go for merino or merino silk or, the much smoother things. Although I did find a new yarn that I liked that I haven't knit with, but I want to try. I think it's Cormo. It's actually not so scratchy, it's the guard hairs I think that bother me, and it's also the level of lanolin that bothers me quite a bit, and I just get itchy in my nose.
Halo. Halo. I've discovered I hate halo.
But see, mohair, I'm fine with mohair.
It's just so weird.
But it's not a sheep, right?
No, it's a goat.
It's a goat. So goat seems to be fine, and like cashmere, Angora.
Cashmere's a goat, Angora's a bunny. Mm-hmm. So basically the things that aren't cheap.
Kiviot,
I was going to say, have you tried that, or yak?
Yeah, but that should be cool. And then acrylics and blends with bamboo and, the milk yarn. What's that called? The milk stuff. There's one made out of milk.
What?
Yeah.
How have you not told me?
Rowan had this yarn made out of milk that was amazing, but it's been discontinued for at least 5 years, I want to say. But it was pretty cool.
I just remember I remember the Tofootsies. Is that what it was? Where it had it was shellfish in it, and Amber couldn't use it because she's allergic to shellfish, but and fish.
And she's sensitive enough that it actually did bother her.
Yeah, it was like 2%.
She really tried. That was Sock
Wars. That's right. Yeah. And it was the year that it was sponsored by Tofootsies. So if you used Tofootsies, you won the grand prize, and if you didn't, you won something much, much less. Mm-hmm. And so she tried to power. She did. She powered through and made the socks out of Tofootsies because she wanted to win the grand prize. Yeah. That's also the sock that broke. Oh, that was the sock.
Cursed. It was cursed.
I think it was her second sock though, or second pair. She'd already killed someone. Mm. What do we have to do to bring back Sock Wars? Like, can we? I want Sock Wars back so badly. Sock Wars was like a huge influence on my life. Like there was Amber and that stuff, and then Mel. The reason our friend Mel knits is because she wanted to kill people with socks. That was the reason. I'd been trying to get her to knit for like 10 years, and she's like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "You can kill people with socks," and then she's like, "Okay, then how do I do this?" And now she's been knitting for like 10 years now. Yeah. And still only makes scarves. Still can't purl, I think. And fights me every time I try to teach her how to purl. Has no desire to make socks anymore. But
well, and wasn't there something called Hat Attack?
There was.
I remember that too. I don't know if that's still a thing. If that was just
I'll have to look up that too. I just don't understand why Sock Wars died so much death. Like it's just, like a little bit of
administration of it was not consistent, and the person that was running the whole show wasn't able to run the whole show, and then I think handed it off to somebody else, and it just kind of
I felt like that should have, like, if she handed it off to someone else, then maybe that year would have been messed up, but then the next year it would have come back and it all would have been fine, and then slowly collapsed like a plant in a cupboard.
Yes. And that's why I decided to knit socks, to learn how to knit socks. The only socks that I've ever completed were I'm going to learn to knit socks from the I Can Knit Socks book, I believe. And Jimmy and I made the same pair of socks out of sport, and like I used sport.
The multicolor striping.
Yes,
yep,
they're
I remember those.
Day Glow stripes, Modedea. And it's a sock 2 socks. I still have them. I still wear them. They're kind of big.
I remember lots of measuring at midnight. It was like, how big is your foot? How big is your foot? And then everyone starts pulling off their shoes. And like, well, my foot, and we all had the same size feet, but we all would have sworn we didn't.
Right.
And then, yeah, because it was customizing the socks. I remember that now.
Right. What about the vamp? What about the rise?
Yeah.
Instep. That's my only pair of socks. Until these now that I'm knitting, it's really Cassandra's fault because she had to do a sock club, and it's like, fine, I will be loyal and I will make socks out of the sock yarn. I mean, you can make other things out of sock yarn, right? Like I've got this. Let's show off one thing that I've made. This is, you won't be able to see it all, but this is Daybreak. Ooh, Daybreak.
Back when Stephen West was incredibly linear.
Yes. So Stephen West, and he's now updated the pattern, and now there's a version which is garter stitch, which is called Pearl Break.
I didn't know that.
And I think if you buy the pattern, you can both together. I'm not sure, because my pattern of Daybreak was auto updated one day, and I got Pearl Break in my Ravelry box as a here's my celebration of how maybe it was like the 10-year mark of Daybreak or something. But this is made with Valley Yarns Charlemont, which is by Webs, which is yarn.com. And it is fingering weight. See, I still know that. And this is silk.
I'm like, it's pink. I don't remember
It's merino, silk, and nylon.
Which explains why it's so gorgeous.
Which I just, I love it. It took me forever. And incidentally, I copied the color combo from the Fast Girl. So.
She's addicted to this color. It's a problem when it comes to yarn. You own clothes in this color because you own every yarn in this color.
Yeah, and this is more green.
Yeah,
tealy.
It's in the family enough that.
But that.
This is the color.
If I come across a yarn in that color, I can't help myself.
She must buy it. What is it? I would call that. Excuse me. I would call that like a really dark teal, dark French blue. Ooh. The munchkin may have arrived.
Did you hear something?
I heard something. Pause. Okay.
Look, it's on.
We're basically done.
Yeah, I'm going to give. I will put on painting the dinosaur game.
Painting dinosaur game.
Excellent.
Yep.
Painting dinosaur.
Yeah, I guess we're done, and that's it. We were going to talk about Drag Race.
But that's probably pretty long.
Yeah, that was probably long enough. It was just like, we'll show like 2 things, and then we'll just talk about Drag Race, because that's pretty much what we were going to do anyway. And yeah, it ended up not even being there. But besides, I'm way too invested in Drag Race. Like,
seriously invested in Drag Race. And
this is like our phone conversations. It's just never going to end. Okay. But yeah, we do have to, eat and deal with this. So, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.